Hello and welcome back. This is more ReZero Arc 4. We are finally done with the fifth loop. So last time we learned that Roswell is the one causing the snow, and that is attracting the Great Rabbit. Unfortunately, or very much expected, Subaru died, and now we are starting a new loop. Let's add to the timeline. Subaru woke up from the trial. He left the next morning, and we know he gets back to the sanctuary the next day. It's different from the web novel, but once again, I'm sticking with the anime and the light novel for this. So he gets back and dies that night, which means he made it 2 days for this loop. Subaru wakes up on the floor. She turned out that way because I wasn't with her, and I was going on about how I didn't want her to look sad. This was pointed out by multiple people throughout the loops of this arc. Subaru is trying to find a solution to all the problems, but in doing so, he has put Amelia on the back burner, and that's caused her to lose it in the last couple of loops. In every version, he touches his lips like he knows about the kiss, but I'm partially sure he died before that happened. My guess is that he saw her leaning in, and so he's making a good guess about it, but he actually died before their lips touched. I'll save Amelia, and the sanctuary, and the mansion too. I'll save every last one of them, even if it costs me my life. I like that Subaru pretty much immediately goes against what Roswell said. Roswell wants Subaru to put Amelia first, to only be concerned with Amelia, because he thinks that's what's going to accomplish his goals. Subaru says, fuck that, he is going to save everybody, which is very much a Subaru thing to do. Honestly, I would have been upset if he had done anything different. We get the same normal early progression. They have their group meeting. Amelia is doing okay this loop, and after they're done with everything, Subaru then goes back to the graveyard. In the web novel, he actually gets stopped by Garfield, and they go out to the woods to have their normal conversation. And this time, Subaru decides to go with half truths. He tells Garfield that he did take the trial, he saw his past, and he failed. He uses that to explain why he knows about the Ryuzus and Garfield taking the trial. And this actually works really well. It kind of confirms Garfield's suspicion while also downplaying Subaru as a threat because Garfield already suspected that something happened. So this tells him, like, yeah, he did take the trial, but he failed. So Garfield is now less worried now that he pretty much was told what he wanted to know. Garfield is relieved that Subaru failed. And before he walks away, he says that he's not going to get in Subaru's way, but he's also not going to help him. Like, even if Subaru or Amelia manage to break the barrier, he's not going to leave Sanctuary. And that is something to keep in mind for later. Again, Subaru starts to head towards the graveyard. There's a lot going on. Roswell is probably going to end up getting in the way again because of his gospel, and Subaru is wanting to get Echidna's help. There are so many things I want to find out and get you to agonize over with me. Invite me, Echidna. I'll give you my life as many times as you want it. Behold, an unthinkable present. Time for the second trial, but before that, Subaru really doesn't understand Echidna. I'll give you my life as many times as you want? Dude, what the fuck are you thinking? So the trial is broken up into several sections. And I'm just going to go through and talk about each section one at a time. It's going to be pretty apparent what's going on after, like, the first one. Liar, liar, liar. You said we'd be together. Felix, come here at once. This is urgent. I won't let the one who saved me die in this way. Why did this have to happen now? It's too late. His soul is already gone. Weakling. Coward. You're leaving behind everyone you cared about, forcing all the pain and suffering on us. You said that you loved me. Like I said before, the trial is past, present, and future. So the second trial should be Subaru challenging the present, but it's like a what if version of the present. Because of Return by Death, Subaru has a lot of presence. Uh, he has a lot of different potentials for what ifs. I mean, hell, even Topei goes out of his way to write a bunch of what if side stories because he couldn't get enough. The difference is that for the trial, all of these scenarios are going to be post death. So we are seeing the effects of all the times that Subaru has died. And each time Subaru is going to see it, he is going to deny it, and he is going to basically run from it, thus failing the trial. It's important to point out that he can't not look at what's happening. He's just some disembodied consciousness. He doesn't have any arms or hands or a face or eyes, so he can't turn to look at something else. He can't cover his eyes so that he can't see it. He is forced to watch what's happening. The first round here is the beginning of this arc. It's when he found Rem in a coma and decided to kill himself to try to reset back and save her. In the anime, this is out in the yard, outside. In the novels, this is inside Cruchet's mansion, because that's where he killed himself. Speaking of, the web novel goes off the fucking wall. Everybody is all sad and everything, and then Subaru's body just suddenly pops up. Like he's not back alive or anything. He's, I don't know, possessed, marionetted like a fucking puppet, something. Wilhelm doesn't have a weapon, but he still tries to hit Subaru. He ends up losing a little bit of his fingers, like up to the first knuckle, to shadows. This is when Puck pops out and he is pissed off at Subaru for making Amelia cry, and he says that the witch is controlling Subaru's body. Puck does not wait on anybody. He just suddenly drops a huge fucking ice crystal on Subaru. The witch doesn't just take that. She fights back, which causes a huge explosion of ice and shadows. And that's pretty much where this whole scenario ends. The theory that I've seen a lot of people take from moments like this is that the witch is inside of Subaru. Maybe not like physically, because that would be really weird. But like whatever connection he has to Envy is actually inside of him. And it kind of works like a seal. And because he died, that seal is broken and she is able to come out. It's not a bad theory. It even connects back to the third arc when Sloth took over Subaru's body and then the witch bitch slapped him. My only problem with the theory is that it's really only in the web novel. Like the reason to think that's the case is really only here in the web novel. I can see it being something that was added in as an idea early on and then was taken out and now no longer canon. I will say that I have not done anywhere near enough research on this theory, so take all of this with a giant grain of salt. It could be an amazing theory, and I just haven't looked into it enough. Subaru wakes up. Was that how that world looked after I died? Vomit hits the floor before he can hold it back. Or was it the trial? Behold, an unthinkable present. Why is this activating again? I mean, he did just take the first trial like a couple of hours ago. I guess it's not that surprising that he's able to go multiple times in one night. It is surprising that it threw him back in, like, right after failing the first one. You would think there would be... Don't make the joke. You would think there would be more time in between each failed attempt. Subaru? Why? Why did this have to happen to him? To save me? Why? Please tell me. I wanted to speak with you more, Natsuki. I wanted to call you a friend. This is arc 3, death number 4 for that arc. The first time that he beat Beetlejuice. Well, actually, this is the first time that This is the arc or the loop that Amelia killed him. Sloth then took over Subaru's body. Felix paralyzed him, and Julius finished him off. And Wilhelm is also there in the novels, but he's just upset about what happened. Subaru opens his eyes, still in the graveyard. Stop it. Please, stop it. Behold, an unthinkable present. If I had to take a guess, this is probably what happened to Amelia in the last arc. She wanted it to stop, but it just kept reactivating until she went crazy. But maybe not. Maybe she wanted to stay and keep trying it, but the end result was the same. After all that nonsense you kept spouting, was this all part of your plan as well, Beatrice? Why? I knew you couldn't be that person, but still, this is what you call love? Honestly, there's no helping you. This is from the second arc, Death Number 4. Rem had just died from the curse. Ram blamed him and was going to kill him. Beatrice helped him to escape. Eventually, Ram catches up to him, and he decides that he is going to go back and save the twins and save everybody, followed by him jumping off a cliff and killing himself. Which looked like he was nuts back when it first happened, but now we get to see their reaction to it after the fact. Well, yes and no, but I'm going to talk about that aspect of it here in a bit. This makes it seem like Beatrice kind of wanted him to be that person. But I guess it's not really that surprising. I mean, we saw in the last loop that she was pretty desperate to have her contract end. So it is you. Amelia and Subaru are both gone, aren't they? Leah is asleep. Forever. I don't want to exist in a world without her. Therefore, per our contract, I will freeze this world solid. He and I are equally guilty. I'm going to stop you from causing any further harm. If you must resent someone, please resent me. I don't resent anyone, Reinhardt. You are a true hero, and a hero is all you can be. With one slash, Puck is destroyed. What the fuck is in their contract? I don't think we get a whole lot of information about what's actually in their contract. We know that Puck isn't allowed to work at night. He picks her hairstyle. I think she's not allowed to look in a mirror. That may go along with the picking the hairstyle point. Probably a few other things that I'm not thinking about at the moment. And Puck will go on a murder rampage if Amelia dies. One of the times that Puck kills Subaru, he says that he's going to leave the area because he wants to avoid Reinhardt. He thinks that Reinhardt will fuck him up. And as we see from this, he's pretty much correct. I see this line quoted a lot. You're just a hero, and that's all you'll ever be. And this definitely comes off as kind of a jab at Reinhardt's expense, and it pretty well sums up Reinhardt as a person. Reinhardt is a hero. No matter what he wants to be, he is always just going to be a hero. Oh yeah, this is arc 3. There's two different deaths, two different times that he dies from Big Puck. Once was when he went crazy most of the loop and he watched Rem be killed by the unseen hands. The other time was when he tried to tell Amelia about Return by Death and the Witch of Envy killed her. I'm fairly certain this is the death with Rem, which would put this as death number 2 for the third arc. And there's a few lines that are left out of the anime that I kind of want to put in here because I think they're important. This first part is from the web novel only. Is something funny? Incredibly funny. Of course it's funny. Reinhardt, you... Nah, I mean you don't know anything. I just remembered how things are supposed to be. It's super late understanding. And that I know this and you still don't is so amazingly funny that I can't stop laughing. This suggests that Puck knows the future to some extent, or knows the correct path that Subaru is eventually going to take. And I think this leads into the next line here. This next part is only in the light novel, and to me, it feels like they took the first part that I just went over and made it a little more cryptic. I knew you would try to prevent it, but if I don't do this, that girl cannot be saved. The fact that he uses that girl instead of Leah makes it seem like he's talking about someone else besides Amelia, but I don't know. And it also seems like he doesn't know about Return by Death. Otherwise, just killing Subaru would have been enough. Between these two parts, it seems like someone else knows about Return by Death. And they told Puck that if he wants to save Amelia, he has to kill Subaru. But instead of saying that last part, they changed it to freeze the world so that he would eventually kill Subaru without realizing it. And now he doesn't know the details of Return by Death. It's apparent from this and other things that Puck has his memories locked, probably due to the contract with Amelia. And now he's starting to remember things. And the web novel points out that now his speech pattern is also changing. In Japanese, there are multiple words that can be used for I, like when referring to yourself. Puck changes from boku to ore, which doesn't sound like it's that big of a deal, but it is an indication of a mental shift. His speech pattern changes, and the translator note says that it's a lot like Subaru. Now, because this is just a translator note, I don't want to act like this is some huge reveal or anything, but I do want to point it out now because it may end up being a clue if we start to learn more later on. So now you know. Wait, one last thing. Reinhardt was able to draw the dragon sword against Puck, which means that Puck is worthy to get his ass kicked by a legendary sword. The rest of the visions aren't included in the light novel. We just get the behold lines repeatedly so that we know that he's seeing more and more of the visions, but we don't get the details. The web novel also has just the behold lines repeated, but then it goes into the details anyway. And that's the end of it. That wasn't a very rewarding job at all. The very first death. And in the web novel, we actually get to see Puck come in afterwards, and he is pissed that he has to follow the contract of not being out at night. So he gets frustrated and they start to fight, but it ends before we really get to see anything. I only prevented the situation from worsening. I could tell that Subaru was already beyond help. Surely he wanted me to end it as quickly as possible. Arc 2 Death 2. Rem finishes him off, but he was going to end up dying from the curse anyway. And I'm gonna go ahead and be honest, I don't think she was trying to be merciful. It goes by super quick in the anime, but the web novel actually has a full conversation. Rem, Roswell, and Amelia all talk it out. Rem tries to say that she was putting him out of his misery because of the curse. Amelia very accurately points out that Rem could have killed him in one hit. She could have done so without completely fucking up his entire body. If you remember from the anime, this is the death where he is crawling in the mansion and he gets hit and looks up and sees his arm dangling from the chandelier. So it very much does not look like a mercy killing. Rem doesn't want to lie, so she just doesn't say anything against those accusations. At this point, Amelia is done. She says that she's going to quit the royal selection and go back to her forest. Roswell tries to say that she is just throwing a tantrum, which causes her to walk back and slap him. And after that, she leaves. We then speed run a few more deaths. The web novel doesn't have these. This is just added in for the anime. That time in the first arc where he died to Tan Chin Khan, we see that he was actually found by the Apple Store guy. Next is the time he died in his room from the curse in the second arc. This was the first death for that arc. The other time he was frozen to death in the third arc. This is the death I referenced earlier. Amelia died by envy, Beatrice teleported him, and then Puck killed him. Another Elsa kill. It looks like this is at the mansion, so this will be from earlier in this arc. Rabbit death, no need to talk about that one. The last death that he just had, and then the rest go by super, super quick. I'm not about to try to pause every half a second just to, well, it'd be even faster than that. I'm not going to try to pause to catch all of these. Subaru probably thinks about some of the deaths often, but the aftermath is something that he actively tries to avoid. It's something that he's thought about, but the implications causes him a lot of pain. So he tries his best to avoid thinking about it. I love the switch that happens. This is great writing, in my opinion. So, in the last loop, Subaru was all ready to use Return by Death as a tool. He was going to die as much as he needed to accomplish his goals. But then the trial here completely flips that on its head. What if Return by Death isn't actually helping him? What if instead of getting everyone to a better future, he's actually just running away from his failures? All of those loops continue on, and he is just leaving all of that pain to the people that he's leaving behind. This is what really gets to him. He sees it as his failures, his weakness. If those loops are actually continuing, then he is directly causing pain to the people that he cares about. It's this thought that causes him to lose it. Now, there is one scenario that's in the web novel that's not anywhere else. And this has some good information as far as backstory goes. This is arc 3, I'm pretty sure, but I have no idea what death this would be. Amelia arrives at Arlen Village. Everybody is dead, including Subaru. The only person that is there is Beetlejuice, but he's not in. He's in a different body. He's not in the first body that we see him in. Both Amelia and Puck freak out to the point where they almost don't even fight back. It takes Puck remembering his past in order for him to lock back in. But as soon as he does start to remember, he breaks his contract with Amelia. He says goodbye, tells her to rely on Beatrice, and then she gets teleported away, probably by Beatrice. He then freezes Sloth as his final act before disappearing. And there's a few lines that I want to go over. I remembered, just now, finally. Meeting him finally made me remember. You said different. Echidna. The web novel already stated earlier that Echidna knows Puck. And this goes back to what I said earlier, where it really feels like someone, Echidna, knows the final timeline and told Puck about it, but then sealed his memories away with the contract to Amelia. Now that he's remembering, he's confused because the events aren't matching up, because this is a failed loop. And this has me questioning, how much does Echidna know? And this is a question that I keep going back to as the story continues. Incredible. Such a form so suited for the vessel. The trial. To determine whether the witch factor shall take root. The trial. This appears to be what he took from his gospel. The trial is about figuring out if Amelia is able to take the envy witch factor. That is my interpretation of his gospel. And I have no idea how he is supposed to figure that out. Other than like dying and then her getting his witch factor. But I don't know how that would really help anything. Yeah, I'm going to stop thinking out loud. Your tempo feels to have changed. For a spirit, you stink of human. Yeah, probably would. That's what I'm like now, but before my arms and legs were a little longer. And if you can believe it, my face would have been handsome. When my daughter's that cute, don't you think that's only natural? So Puck may have been human at some point, and I've heard different ideas on whether Puck is actually Amelia's father in spirit form, or maybe that they have are in like an adoptive kind of relationship where they're not actually related, but they accept each other as family. This makes it seem like he actually was like her biological father at some point. Okay, that's all I wanted to go over for the web novel. Let's continue on with the story. Can you no longer stand, Subaru? He looks up and sees a maid standing by the door. This can't be real. Rem. Yes, I am your Rem. Your very own all-purpose, ever-useful maid. Are you all right? Are you tired? I don't know. Maybe I am tired. If I were stronger, smarter, and capable of a lot more, they wouldn't have to hurt and suffer so much. If the world was still going on after I died, how many times did I just leave them all to die? How many times did I let you die? Subaru, it's alright. I love you. So everything will be alright. You've been through so much, Subaru. You've suffered so much pain all alone. But you don't need to feel so sad all the time anymore. I will take the place of everything you're feeling. Entrust everything to me, and just rest for now. All you need to do is sleep. Rem leans in to kiss him, but before their lips touch, a thought crosses his mind. It's easy to give up, but it doesn't suit you. Who are you? Subaru, what are you? I knew that when I was at the end of my rope, you would come and stay gently by my side. You'd listen to my troubles, let me vent my insecurities, wring everything out of me until all my tears ran dry. And then you'd say, now stand up. You wouldn't let me just rest. You like me, and I like you, but you're also stricter with me than anyone else. Rem is the one girl who doesn't go easy on me. You're wrong. Please listen to me, Subaru. I just didn't want you to suffer, so I'll show you my weakness and frailty, but I'll never let you see me give up. Get out of here, you fraud. Don't you dare coddle me with Rem's face and voice. This isn't what I was told to expect. Her voice and appearance change. I'm Carmilla, the Witch of Lust. Is this weird place part of Echidna's dream? Where were you trying to pull earlier? Was that your power? No. If I looked like someone else, it's because you wanted to see me that way. I didn't want to, but Echidna said all I had to do was dote on you. So Echidna is the one behind all this. Subaru gets angry and starts to walk closer. Going any further will endanger your life. Subaru feels a sharp pain in his heart and falls to his knees. The environment shifts to the grassy hill. Echidna sits in her chair. Carmilla's faceless bride makes one forget to breathe when in her presence. In the end, it even makes your heart stop beating. I wanted to get through all of that before I jump back in here. There was a little moment of excitement thinking that Rem could be back, but of course she's not. This is ReZero. What the fuck are you thinking? I do agree with Echidna sending Carmilla, though. Subaru can be upset about it all he wants, but without that moment, there was a good chance he was going to be mentally fucked with the way things were going. In the web novel, we get to see the tea party before Subaru arrives. The witches are talking about parallel universes. Minerva thinks that it's stupid because she is full of conviction, especially about the things that she cares about. If she wants to do something, she's going to do it regardless of the consequences. If she had a chance to go back, she's just going to do the exact same thing over again. So a parallel universe where she does something else doesn't make sense to her. Daphne thinks that it's a waste of time because it's not about food. We didn't see her eat. Echidna makes her food, and then she just makes eating noises as she flops on the table, and the food just gets absorbed through her skin, and also part of the table. Segment also says that it's a waste of time. If you can't interact with them, that it really doesn't matter if they exist or not. And it's this mindset that actually makes the second and third trial really easy. The first trial is stuff that actually happened in the past, but the next two are just hypotheticals. And that leads to an explanation of the trials. So the second trial looks for regrets in a person's past and then forms a what if scenario of the present. The third trial pretty much does the exact same thing. So it's not looking at parallel universes. For a normal person, the second and third trials are easier because they can be viewed as fake. For Subaru, though, because of Return by Death, it's a lot harder for him to see this as completely fake. And because of that, this is a trial that he's probably never going to pass. At this point in their conversation, Typhon and Carmilla join the table. And this is when Echidna asks Carmilla to go help out Subaru. That kind of worked. I mean, he is doing a little bit better mentally compared to where he just was. And now he is back with Echidna. So next time we will see another tea party. See ya. Okay, I just realized that Carmilla was off playing with Typhon before they joined the table in the web novel. And the reason that it was Carmilla is because she isn't very susceptible to Typhon's authority. If she's not trying to directly attack someone, her authority works like a passive attack. If you think of yourself as a bad person, or if you have regrets, then you start to fall apart, which is what we saw in the last time whenever she showed up and Subaru literally fell apart. uh, Carmilla is super conceited. She doesn't see herself as a bad person in any way, and she has no regrets. She thinks she is fucking awesome. So Typhon's authority doesn't really work on her. Or maybe it doesn't really work on any of the witches, because I think a lot of the witches are conceited. But maybe I'm just overthinking it. I don't know. Anyway, I'm done thinking out loud here. Don't take any of this too serious. I'm just literally just riffing and seeing if any of this sticks. Anyway, I'm actually getting off here. See ya.